Hi guys, welcome to Cheryl's Home Cooking. So let's get started. Welcome to Cheryl's Home Cooking, and today what I'm going to show you is another way that I make my homemade beef stew. So let's get started. I chopped and peeled 5 potatoes. I cut them like into bite-sized pieces. Once I had them all chopped, then I placed them in my crock pot. You can see how small I chopped them. I also chopped and peeled 1 onion. I placed it in my crock pot, along with 3 stalks of celery. I diced the celery small too, try to make everything even. I'll add 1 container of beef broth to my crock pot. It's 2 pounds, 32 ounces. I'll mix it all in. The lid back on my crock pot. I'll fry 1 pound of beef stew meat along with 2 garlic cloves that I minced. I browned my stew meat with 2 cloves of garlic. I placed it in my crock pot. I also added another container of the beef broth, which is 2 pounds. So there's 2 packages of this beef broth in my crock pot. I'll put my lid on. I have it on high. This is another way that I make homemade beef stew. It's really good. Now I'll check on my beef stew. Smells good. So I just have my potatoes and beef in here. I'll be adding in some frozen broccoli, probably a couple handfuls. So I have my frozen broccoli. I'll place it in. That's 1 handful. 2, 3. About 4 handfuls, and basically I'm only holding about 4 broccoli florets. So now I'll mix that in. If you have fresh, just add the fresh when you add your potatoes in. So now I'll let this cook a little bit longer, and then I'll thicken the broth. So I'll put my lid back on. I usually like to keep my beef stew in my crock pot for a couple of hours. You want to make sure that all your vegetables are nice and soft. What's good about cooking in a crock pot too is that you can just leave it on and then go about your day. So I like to leave the beef stew cooking for a couple hours or so. You want to make sure that all your vegetables are nice and tender and that the meat is thoroughly cooked and nice and soft. So I'll put my lid back on, and in a couple hours I'll thicken my broth, and then my beef stew will be ready. If you like to add more vegetables, just keep adding more vegetables to it. Now that my broccoli's been in there for a while, I'll add in a little bit of pepper. Just a little bit of salt. I'll put in about 2 teaspoons of parsley flakes. I'll shake in a little bit of oregano. Just mix it around. Oh, it smells good. So now I'll put my lid back on. Really smells good. I can't wait to give it a try. Now it's time to thicken my broth. I have a half a cup of water, and I'll put in about 2 tablespoons of flour. I'll just mix it around. So this is just 2 tablespoons of flour and a half a cup of water. I'll pour it in. Mix it around. I want to give some of the broth a try. It's really good. To enhance the broth for my beef stew, I'll place in just a little bit of this kitchen bouquet. It's probably about a teaspoon. I'll eyeball it. Maybe 2 teaspoons. Mix it around. You can see it darkened it up a little bit. So I'll let this sit for a few minutes, waiting for the sauce to thicken up. Give it another try. That's really good. So now I'll put my lid back on. So I pre-boiled some carrots, about 4 carrots. I placed them in my crock pot. Yeah, that'll look good. My husband wanted some carrots in here, so I pre-boiled them so that they're fully cooked. Few more minutes and I'll be putting this in a bowl, giving it a try. Can't wait. It smells really good. Oh yeah, see how nice that thickened up? That looks really good. So now I'll put a little of this beef stew in a bowl. Get a little of that broth. Doesn't that look good? Now doesn't this look good? I'll add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. So now I'll give it a try. Have some of the beef, carrot. Doesn't that look good? That beef just melts in your mouth. Potato. That is really, really good. This broth really thickened up beautifully. So tasty. Gotta give this a try. It's really, really good. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Cheryl's Home Cooking, and watch me make my homemade beef stew. It's really good. Give it a try. I'll see you guys next video. Bye-bye. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Cheryl's Home Cooking. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye-bye.